Fragrance collecting. That sounds rather interesting. Should I start a fragrance collection?
Wait, are you sure you want to start a fragrance collection?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Okay, well, I'm gonna tell you the do's and the don'ts.
Hey guys, what's going on? Wagwan me peeps, wagwan me peoples. Alain here again with a brand new edition of White Boys Fragrance Corner, and today it's all about the do's and the don'ts of fragrance collecting. So stay tuned because this is going to be very interesting. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, and first and foremost let me just say this: the giveaway, I've ordered it. It's gonna be a bit of a surprise because I decided to do 2 giveaways. It's on its way. It has not arrived as yet, but as soon as it has, I'll definitely give you guys all the information how to enter for that giveaway. And as I mentioned in plenty videos before, unfortunately this time around it's only going to be Switzerland wide, but as the channel grows, so will the giveaway span, so to speak. Alright, so let's start off the video. Alright guys, so let's just get down to the brass tacks. I'm pretty sure there are plenty reviewers out there in the world, and everybody has their own do's and don'ts, but these are just my 5 cents to this particular topic. Now the best advice I can give you guys is don't start. And I know that sounds a bit contradicting, seeing that I am a perfume collector, and that's the reason why I can tell you guys don't start. It's the same thing a smoker will tell any non-smoker don't start smoking. However, if you do want to go down that route, bear in mind it is not the cheapest of hobbies. So it's a beautiful thing, don't get me wrong. I mean, fragrances last, and they're definitely healthier than cigarettes, but it can tend to be costly. So I think the first do for me is to have a plan where you want to take your fragrance collection. What do you want to accomplish? Set a goal. Let's say for instance, okay, you want maybe around 100 fragrances, so to speak. You need to have an idea how like what tiers you want that 100 fragrances to be. Do you want like half of them to be freshies, half of them to be a bit heavier? Do you only want cheapest? Do you want expensive stuff? Do you only want niche? It all depends what route you want to go, but set yourself a goal. Like me for instance, that's what I never did. I never set a goal for myself. I never had a plan, and then I just start purchasing. But for next year 2020, I have a plan, or a wish list so to speak, and those are the fragrances that I am going after. I mean, yeah, new releases will always pop up, which leads me to my next point. You do not need to get every single new release. If there are 20 new releases for the entire year, there are probably about 7 that are really worth buying. And again, I'm talking from my personal experiences. So new releases, you do not need to go out and get them necessarily. Furthermore, once they're new, they are pricey, they're not at discounters as yet, so give it some time. I know plenty of reviewers, they try to be the first to get it to do a review, and that is a different thing. But if you're just a collector, you don't need to rush and get them. Which leads me to my third point. Try to buy fragrances at discounters as much as possible. There are plenty reputable websites out there, and you will end up saving money. Now, there are some fragrances which even I have difficulty to find at discounters, and then those are the ones that I'll go to the store and buy them in retail. Which leads me to another very interesting point. Most of the time, once you go to the store and you buy in retail, you will be able to ask for samples. Blind buying, I would not recommend blind buying. Blind buying is not for everyone, and blind buying can be risky. For me, fortunately, I have had no bad experience blind buying fragrances, but to be on the safe side, I always go out and ask for a sample. Hence, if you go to the retail store, especially with niche fragrances, because niche fragrances, some of them can be a bit challenging because they're not made to be mass appealing like designers. Again, this is just my opinion. Now, let's say, for me personally, Inizio. Somehow I'm not able to find Inizio discounted over here in Switzerland. I do go to the stores and I purchase my Inizio. And it's actually a great thing because when I'm at the stores, I can ask for sample of perfumes that I'm interested in the future, and I'll be able to, experience it. Now, there are some perfumes, like Mancera Red Tobacco is a very good example. The opening is so off-putting and displeasing. If I just went to the store and sprayed it on my hand, it would be an instant turn-off. But, if you get a sample and you can wear the sample, you give it some time, you will get to learn and understand the entire DNA of a fragrance. So sampling is always a plus. Now to another important point. There are plenty decanters out there. Get yourself a decant, get yourself a 5 milliliter decant, get yourself a 10 milliliter decant if you're not sure about a fragrance. Listen, it is better to buy a 5 milliliter or a 10 milliliter decant and don't like the fragrance than to buy a full presentation. Simple as that. Next up now, since we're on that topic of discounters, there are plenty of fragrances out there that are very expensive. Now, you have something that's called splitting. And if you can find a reputable splitter and you talk to that person, you might be even able to keep the bottle as presentation. Now, what is splitting? It is when you and someone buy an expensive fragrance and you actually split it. So somebody will get a plain bottle with just maybe a handwritten label or a label made with a label maker, and then the other party gets the original packaging. Now imagine, for instance, you want to buy something on the pricier side, like the Dior Privé line, very expensive. Now if you and somebody make up and buy that bottle, you buy the 450 ml, which they are pricey, but you buy the 450 ml and you decide to split that, that's 250 ml each. And always remember, the bigger the bottle, the better value you get for your money. And I learned that the hard way when I just got into Tom Ford. I bought the 30 ml bottles because to me those were more affordable. But when you actually calculate the price per milliliter, I was paying so much. That's the reason why I decided to listen. If it's gonna take me 2 months to save my money to get 100 ml or 50 ml, that's the route I am going to take. Now, what I would disencourage you guys from is shopping on eBay and maybe even in Facebook Marketplace or stuff like that. I won't say disencourage or discourage, but you just need to be a bit more cautious because that's where most frauds or scams happen. And always remember, if you see something that is too good to be true, or 99.99% of the time, that's the case, it is too good to be true. So for example, if you go on eBay and you see a full presentation Creed Aventus for $150 or $100, there is something fishy about that. There's no way that fragrance would be sold for that price. So you just need to be precautious when buying on sites like eBay or marketplace, random marketplaces and random marketplaces like Facebook Marketplace for instance. Now if you're in a fragrance group, it is a different story because that's where you actually can do a legit check. Now if I DM you, let's say you make a post in one of those fragrance groups seeking this or that type of fragrance, and I I message you and say, look, listen, I have a full presentation of that fragrance, that amount of money, which most likely is going to be cheaper than retail anyway. What I would suggest that you guys do is do a legit check. Post in the group, listen, I need a legit check for that and that person. If he's a reputable person and if he really is into selling fragrances, chances are more than one person has done business with them and can vouch for that person. So do not be afraid to do background checks. All right. Now let's start. Let's say now you started to collect the fragrances. Storage is a very important thing. Do not store them in sunlight, because that's the longevity of the fragrance. It's not healthy for the fragrances. So try keep them in a nice room temperature room with no sunlight, or just minimal amount of sunlight, so to speak. Direct sunlight is a killer. I know people, they actually buy wine coolers to store the fragrances in. I have not reached that level as yet, but with some of my more pricier possessions, I am considering that wine cooler thing. I'm considering it. Somewhere back of the head, I'm thinking about it. Again, with fragrances, wear them. Don't just buy them and put them down. Wear them, wear them, wear them. Now, on another note, cheapies. Don't shy away from the word cheapie. Don't shy away from cheap fragrances are inexpensive. Let's just use the term inexpensive. There are plenty fragrances on $30 mark, 30 franc mark. They're actually good. Lalique and Croix Noir line, that's a perfect example. They're high quality fragrances for a very reasonable price. Same thing with Bentley fragrances, Bentley Man Intense, Bentley Absolute, even Roberto Cavalli. So there are plenty fragrances out there. The price point is very low, but they are very, very, very good. So don't shy away from low priced fragrances. And every now and then you might come across a gem. Now, the way how I do it is basically the same way how I just explained to you guys. I try my best not to retail shop as much as I can. I do occasionally, but even then, I might have coupons or, some form of discount or stuff like that. Now, I have not bought anything off eBay. I have not bought anything off Facebook Marketplace, but there are some things there that I'm interested in. Now, my final advice to you guys is just don't overdo it. Don't overdo it. Set a monthly budget and say, look, listen, this month that's my fragrance budget, and stick by it. Do not go over that budget, because as I said in the beginning, it can become quite expensive. So always bear that in mind. And for you single guys out there, I'm not single anymore, but I used to be single a whole lot of years ago. You single guys out there, I don't know, I'm gonna get cussed out for this, but I don't care. But listen, you single guys out there, whenever you carry home a one night stand, or when you carry home that special someone, put your fragrances under lock and key. Because me personally, back in the day when I was single, there were a few bottles that went missing. So that's just a word of advice. Now, listen, feel free to ask me any questions you feel like to ask in the comment section, and I'll try my best to answer you as quickly and as best as possible. And if you have not subscribed as yet, why not hit that subscribe button? And while you're at it, why not click on that notification bell so you will get notified whenever your friendly Jamaican fragrance reviewer uploads a brand new video. You can also catch up with me on social media. On Instagram, whiteboys_fragrance_corner, or over by Facebook, White Boys Fragrance Corner. Now Instagram is where I interact with my subscribers or my fans. Even though I don't think I have any fans as yet, but I'm working to get there. Eventually I want to be the rock star of the fragrance world. One day, right? But all fun and joke aside, social media, that's where I mostly interact with you guys. You know, I give you guys updates. You know, I have my center day, center the night occasionally and stuff like that. And you know, let's just have fun, man. And as I said, the giveaway is coming. I've ordered it, and as soon as I have it, I'll let you guys know. Now with that said and out of the way, man, fi smell good. You can't go look girl and you smell like rotten bread. Yeah, that is a thing. Rotten bread is a thing. And for you guys that do not understand patois, you know, you men, we should smell good, because it doesn't make sense we're trying to court a lady and we stinge of rotten bread. You get the drift, right? It's all good, man. It's all fun, right? So with that said and out of the way, stay blessed, my peeps. Stay safe. Until next time, White Boy is out.